I have nothing left to lose. I really think if I don't do this, I won't be here much longer. And I hopped on a plane and did Ibogaine and did 5-MeO and came back and was like, it was me. It wasn't you. I'm sorry. I'm the fucking asshole. I've always been the asshole.
How did your wife handle? I mean, did she even want you home?
I wish she was here, man, because I don't know. There's days that she probably did, and there's days that she didn't, man. And it all came to a head when I came home the second time, right? And I got a job at a company called Capital Group. It's a great organization, man. They're in finance as well. And I can get behind their mission. Like it's genuine. It's a private company. It's a $3 trillion company. Yeah.
Whoa.
It's in the asset management world, but it's about people saving for retirement. It's about like people like changing their outcomes for the future. And as somebody that never saved for retirement, like, dude, I can get behind that mission. I was that person that I'm trying to educate. I was that person that didn't save a dime and was blown and said I couldn't afford it, but I'm out buying, Starbucks. And so I got behind the mission, and I have been blessed to be a part of that great organization for a while. But I did the same thing I did. I hid behind the job, right? And I was on the road flying and talking to companies. I was gone all the time, and that's when everything fucking went downhill. And
How did it go downhill?
there's a lot there, man. It's when you're with somebody for as long as you are and you don't even fucking know them, and vice versa, she didn't know me. And honestly, like there was so much resentment, and I would use the word hatred. Like in our relationship, it was all a facade, man. It wasn't real. We put on a good show. We played the game when we had to, but there was nothing there. There was zero, dude, zero love in that relationship. And then you compound that with me now the second time dealing with all my shit. Like I didn't believe in PTSD. That shit ain't real, man. That's not real, dude. TBI, yeah. Like we got blown up a few times in Iraq, but dude, it's not me. It's you, Shawn. Like what the fuck are you talking about? Like get out of my face. All of that came out, and that is real, man. I went into a dark depression. I hated my wife.
When you say you hated your wife, I mean, what kind of actions does that translate to? What is the home life like? Get a little more descriptive.
I'm not present, man. I left.
Where did you go?
I got an apartment right down. I was making enough money where I can go float in an apartment right down the street.
So what prompted that?
Man, it was, dude, there was a lot, man. There was behaviors.
So you leave the teams to go back and be with the family.
Yeah.
I mean, did you attempt to be a good husband or a good father at all before you moved out? Or is this, you just fell right into this?
I think I attempted it, man. I tried. But then I just kind of threw my hands up. Like, again, I thought.
Did you throw your hands up because she wasn't responding to your attempts? Or did you throw your hands up because you didn't like being a family man?
No, I love being a family guy. Today, now that I know how to do it, like maybe back then it was partially that, dude. Like I didn't know how to do it, and I didn't know what to do, man. Like I wanted, like I told you with that story earlier, like if you don't like the outcome, change it, right? Like I didn't know what are the other outcomes in that situation. There's two. It's binary. But it's not that easy, man. These are super complex, these relationships, right? And if there's a spark of love in that thing, and there has to be, man, because you wouldn't have gotten together if there wasn't, then you got enough to work on. I just didn't know how to do it back then. So I left, went to an apartment. And then I ran into a team guy buddy of ours that, do you know Will Chesney?
I've never met him,
Okay.
but I know who
Great
he
human
is.
being. But when I saw him, like, I thought he was going to get kicked out of the. I mean, he was already kicked out. Let me apologize. Like, kicked out for drinking and of the teams, and he didn't look healthy, man. He was obese. He had been drinking a lot, and I see him, and I just remember thinking, like, like I said earlier, like, I don't know if I'm going to see that dude again. Like the suicide thing, like that crossed my mind when I saw him. I don't know why. I do know why, but I don't know if it was real or not. It wasn't. But then I see him in this low point of my life. Like, thank God I was mature enough not to drink. Like, because if I would have drank, I don't think I'd be here today, dude.
You weren't drinking then?
No, I stopped. Like, I had enough sense to stop all my drinking.
No shit.
Yep.
What about drugs?
No drugs.
No pills?
No.
No prescriptions?
No.
No sleeping
Man, that
meds?
suffering was real, and I felt every bit of it, dude. Like, and I wanted to hop in the bottle. That was my norm, right? But for whatever reason, I think God or the divine, the spirit, the power to be, you're not going to do that, and I didn't.
So hold on. When did you quit drinking? In the teams?
No, that was right when I got to Capital Group. So that's when we were out on the second time. And I drank, but once all this started happening, in my head I was like, if I drink, I'm going to make some horrible decisions, man. Because I have a tendency, you've heard some of the stories, to make some stupid decisions. And that's all fun and games because we can talk about it, laugh about it now. But any one of those could have changed the rest of my life. Like the buds thing, you don't go to SEALs. Like trying to jump on, like the list goes on and on and on. It's funny now, but the reality is it's not. Uh-huh. If I would have done that in this scenario, dude, I don't know if I'd be here right now. And that's what's going on through my head. If you have these dark thoughts now, man, and you mix that with booze and pills, like you're already thinking about suicide ideation, dude. You feel so bad for yourself and like that you fucked everything up. And you don't even like, I don't even know how I got there.
I mean, it just shows like how disconnected you and your wife were.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Was she sober?
I don't think she was.
Man, I mean, you guys were, that's pretty fucking distant.
Yeah. Yeah, there was nothing there, man.
What about your kids? What were they seeing?
They saw exactly what we just described, man. They saw zero empathy, zero love, zero grace, fighting, me piecing out, coming in, pretending to be a dad at a couple events, and then going back to my apartment. But the Will Chesney thing, the reason why I bring that up is because I described when I saw him last, and then I see him in the midst of all this, and I don't know who that guy is. He's beautiful. Like, the man is glowing. Long hair, lost 60 pounds. I had no idea who it was, and he proceeds to tell me about plant medicine in 2017. That's how I got introduced. In my head, the judgment came. I was like, this dude's fucking crazy. Did psychedelics? Like, I don't care what you look like. I don't care how good you look, man. There was something there. It was enough to plant a seed for me to walk away and then come back and...
What time span are we talking here from?
2017.
Overweight.
Oh, this is probably like a year. Wasn't that long.
1 year.
Yeah. He was glowing, man. Like, I've never seen a human glow before. I don't know if you've experienced that when you've done the medicine, but I didn't know what I was seeing, man. He was radiant. But he proceeds to tell me this plants a seed. I think he's crazy, but I go on the computer and I start looking at the research, PTSD, TBI. I start going to the VA. Like, tried once. That failed. I couldn't find parking. I got yelled at. I'm like, I don't have to deal with this. I'm out. I go to a talk therapist trying to save the marriage. Like I am so angry, dude. I am just like, I don't want any part of this. I quit that.
Was she in talk therapy with you?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then I thought,
what was it that, what was the point? I'll tell you, man, it sounds like a lot of shit lined up for you, but at what point did you and your wife simultaneously decide, let's try to make this better?
the point was when I got to a spot where I was like, if I don't do the plant medicine, I started reading it, learning about it, and believed in it enough to be like, I have nothing left to lose. Like, I really think if I don't do this, I won't be here much longer. And I hopped on a plane and did Ibogaine and did 5-MeO and came back and was like, it was me. It wasn't you. I'm sorry. I'm the fucking asshole. I've always been the asshole.
How did she respond to that?
She was like, fuck you. You know our women, dude. She says, I don't believe it. You're full of shit. But it was real, man. And it was real. And it gave me what I recognize now is it gave me the opportunity to stop the bad behaviors. It gave me an opportunity to get the addictions. I think we're all addicts in some way, like to behaviors, to porn, to actions, to alcohol, to drugs, to crush those addictions. It gave me perspective that I never had before, man. Like, again, like, oh my God, just change the angle that you're looking at this problem set enough and you're going to see it in a completely different way. I was like, whoa, holy shit, I can see your point. I could never see other people's points before. Yeah. And then, but she had her wall up and rightfully so, right, man? Like I helped create that wall. So after, just a certain amount of time, it was like of her saying no and you're a liar and you're just going to relapse back to your old behaviors. Like that's what happened. So there's a lot we've learned since 2018 when I did the medicine about integration, like creating the environment for you to be received, prepping your partner so when you come in, like they know how to like respond to you. You're going to be different, man. The resentment was high with her. Like, why do you always get the treatments? Why do you always get the healing? Like, I was there with you, right? So, I mean, I kind of went back, not completely. I stopped drinking completely. I credit that a lot to the medicine. I think, like God intervened when I needed him to. And then I think the medicine broke the pattern or the addiction that I had going on. So things had changed, but they were kind of going back to the way they were. And then that's when I opted to go do it again. Like I probably about 6 months, 7 months, I was like, listen, I'm losing some of these things. I didn't integrate. I know I see the power of this tool. I'm going to go do it again. And when I did it the second time, she came back. We were in a way better place, like getting closer to kind of working through some things. And then she received me the second time. And then, it's not a panacea. Let me state this. So for folks that are listening, I know you've had a lot of folks talk about psychedelics on your podcast. You've talked about your own journeys. Like, this isn't an end-all be-all, man. I think this is just a tool that you can use to really give you an opportunity to reset, reframe the way ahead. I truly believe that.
I'm with you.
Yeah. But if you don't take advantage of that, then like you could end up going back down the same path you were. And so I feel that we learned a lot from that first one. The second one she was prepared for, softer landing. And then she got to a point where she wanted to go. And I shared with you at breakfast, and I'll share with everybody now, when she came back from that treatment in Costa Rica, dude, that was the first time in my life and in hers, if she was here, she'd tell you that we were in a relationship. We had 5 kids at the time, dude. And it's not perfect today. But by God, like, there's love in the relationship. Yeah, there's just like, there's understanding, there's grace. Like, we support each other. We actually fucking like each other, dude. It's awesome.
Hey everybody, I'm Shawn Ryan. Click here to subscribe to the Shawn Ryan Show YouTube channel for the hottest and most compelling interviews that you will not see anywhere else. I've also made a playlist of all the previous SRS episodes so they're easy to find. You can find that right here.